influence of the people within it that counts. People buy products from people they know and trust, e.g. referrals. Identify high-quality prospective clients or influential introducers in your marketplace. Develop and implement a plan to get connected to them. Build an effective network. How many people do you know? What's your network? There are 20 million people in Lagos. How many people do you know? In 1995, I was still in paid employment. I was working for Rainoil. And then I used my own 25,000 naira, which was a lot of money then, to join a club called Lagos Country Club in Ikeja, because I love to play tennis. I can see the daughter of my very good friend then, Chief Chijiabo. Please, can we acknowledge her? You know, we're all in Lagos Country Club together. So I joined Lagos Country Club. Every evening I go there, or most evenings I go there to play tennis. So one day, the company I was working for, Rainoil, we imported a container load of cornstarch. As the head of sales and operations, the responsibility of selling this cornstarch fell on me. How am I going to sell a container load of cornstarch? So one evening, I finished playing tennis in Lagos Country Club, and the gentleman I played tennis with was a gentleman called Engineer Chike Mora. Chike Mora was the planning director of Cadbury Nigeria PLC. As a planning director, he was also in charge of procurement in Cadbury. So after tennis, I just walked up to him and said, Oga, please, I have a container load of cornstarch. I want Cadbury to buy it. He said, is that all? He said, yes. In my presence, he called a gentleman called Dr. Gumoela and said, Gabriel will come and see you tomorrow, negotiate and buy the container load of cornstarch. So the next day, I went to Cadbury. I saw the gentleman, and I came back with the LPO for the entire container load of cornstarch. I was excited. I showed it to my MD, and we supplied the container load of cornstarch, the entire container load. My MD now came to me and said, Gabriel, please, I need to meet that man. You need to introduce me to him. So I went back to the club, begged him, my MD wants to meet you, please give us an appointment. So he gave us an appointment. On this fateful day, we now went to Cadbury. From the gates, the security, the protocol, the reception, the forms, just to see this man. That was when I appreciated the privilege of just being able to walk up to him one-on-one and discuss the transaction. Now listen, there are people you want to see in this Lagos. There are people you've been waiting for 2 weeks to see. There are people you go to their offices and wait 8 hours to see them. Make no mistake about it. There are places where they hang out in this town where you can walk up to them one-on-one and discuss what you want to discuss. But you need to invest in yourself. Now, I can break it down to even things as simple as join an activity group. You know, let me use a church as an example. Let me use an organization like this as an example. You know, we can say, 5,000 people were here today. That's different from saying Tokwe was here today. How do you begin to move from being a number, being a statistic, to being a person? You need to move away from being a statistic to being an identifiable person. And you can only do that by joining smaller activity groups. Invest in yourself. You like to play golf? Go join the golf club. You like to play tennis? Go join the tennis. Invest in groups where you can begin to interact with people. Because make no mistake, those are places where things happen. Build an effective network. Another one is branch out. Branch out. Assess and adjust the business direction in response to a changing environment. Step out of your comfort zone. Consistently look out for areas of markets for expansion and growth. Avoid analysis paralysis. There will never be a perfect moment. If you are 100% certain, then it's most likely too late. Branch out. Now listen. In any business you do, in any location you find yourself, it's only a matter of time. Competition will catch up with you. It's only a matter of time. You know, let me say you have a high-end clothing shop on Adiola Odeko, and then your business is booming. Listen, when people come to your shop, as they are trying your clothes and buying them, they are also mentally counting the number of customers you have. It's like, mother, what's your name? Adora. You know, Adora has a shop on Adiola Odeko. And then her friend comes there and meets like 20 people trying out their, but Adora don't clean out for here. Have you been to Adora's shop? That lady has cleaned out. Before you know it, 2 clothing shops will start not far from you. It's just the way it is. I remember around year 2000, and, you know, when we built our tank farm in Ogara. We built that tank farm 2009 to very early 2011. I remember then when I would land in Benin Airport and I'm driving to Ogara, I would just be smiling and say, by the time the market realizes what we are doing here. That tank farm, when we commissioned it in 2011, it was an instant success. I mean, the tank farm did very well. But you know what? Even though the tank farm was doing very well, we did not sit down there to say, this is where God has buttered our bread. No, the moment we commissioned it, we've moved on. 3 years later, we have built another tank farm in Calabar. Even though that tank farm was also doing very well, a few years later, we have built yet another tank farm in Lagos. Today, I go to Ogara, there are like maybe 8 to 10 tank farms there, even though we were like the pioneer, so to speak. So even though our aggregate share, so to speak, of that market may have gone down, because we have gone to other locations, our overall aggregate share of the market has only gone one way, which is up. So you must keep branching out. Don't sit down in one place and believe that that is where your bread is buttered. No. Because I will tell you one thing, you see, the size of a market is finite. For every new entrant into the business, that new entrant is only drawing from the existing market. He's not creating a new market because you have come into that business. Am I making sense? Because it's like those of us, I open a new petrol station on a street, for example, and on the first day, the petrol station sells 20,000 liters of fuel. If 500 cars bought those 20,000 liters of fuel, those 500 cars did not just appear that first day into the market. No, they've always been there. They've been buying fuel elsewhere. So somebody have lost a share of that 20,000 liters to us. Am I correct? So as you are in that space and you're losing market share, you need to keep expanding so that you're getting market share in other places, and then your business overall is on the upward trajectory. Encourage entrepreneurship.